The reason why men are so hostile towards feminism is because feminism seeks the end of male supremacy and male privilege, assuming that those things exist, which they don't. When you have privilege, you don't want to give it up. You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. So you accuse the oppressed group of reverse discrimination. Reverse discrimination is not a thing. Either it's discrimination or it's not. We men have so many privileges. There you go, using that word again. We don't have to worry about our drinks being spiked in a bar or a club. We don't have to worry about being catcalled and harassed. We don't have to worry about being judged on our physical appearance. These are some pretty bold claims. Do you have any evidence to back them up? My guess is no. We don't have to worry about being taken seriously at sports, in science or math, in positions of authority and leadership, or fixing the vehicle, among other things. So men don't have to worry about getting their feelings hurt? Whew, that's good to know. Women have to worry about those things every day. Oh, the poor, poor woman! Men clearly don't have it as hard as they do. Never mind the fact that men have no bodily integrity, are forced to sign up for selective service, are legally discriminated against in education and the workplace, and have a relative lack of reproductive rights. When we men are informed of all the privileges we have, we get defensive. And you're surprised about this. Feminists have been maligning men as oppressors and women as victims for quite some time now, so that shouldn't come as a shock to you. The realization that we benefit from the structural oppression of women is too much for many of us to handle, but we need to just get over that. Because coming to terms with the fact that we benefit from oppression is nothing compared to the hardship of having to deal with oppression. I'm proud to be a feminist and to stand with women as they continue to fight for equality. Thank you once again, Miss Adichie. Interesting. So, how are women being oppressed again? Or do you not know the definition of that word either? Go fuck yourself. We don't have to worry about being catcalled and harassed. Men are catcalled by women, dingus. Men are also catcalled by gay men. There have been multi-video experiments done that prove this. As far as the harassment part, are you so retarded that you would actually suggest that women are the only ones harassed? Judge on our physical appearance. Yes, because obese men are never made fun of. Scrawny men are never made fun of. Short men are never made fun of. Fuck you, you lying sack of shit. Taken seriously at sports. Another lie. Ever heard of the jock culture, dipshit? There are many cases where boys are mistreated, made fun of, and outright ostracized because they're poor at sports. Correct. Stop trying to spin this around. Men catcall and harass women a whole hell of a lot more than women do to men. Oh great, another bold claim. It's our problem as men and we need to fix it, assuming that it is a problem. And yes, some men get judged, but not nearly to the same extent that women get judged. Just look at movies and TV. Goofy, average-looking male characters are always paired with attractive, physically fit female characters for love interests. It's hardly ever the other way around, and when it is, it's part of the storyline. What does that tell you? It tells you that men can look however the hell we want and be whatever size we want and still land an attractive woman. Sure, if that's how it actually works in reality, which it doesn't. It's actually the other way around. A woman can be the most grotesque and most pathetic human being on the planet and can still find some man to love her. Why? Because women have inherent worth by just existing. Men don't. Unlike women, they actually have to prove themselves to the opposite gender. That's a pretty big privilege. Again with that word! Can you people actually use words correctly for a change? From the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, here are the definitions of the word privilege. Number 1. A right or benefit that is given to some people and not to others. Number 2. A special opportunity to do something that makes you proud. Number 3. The advantage that wealthy and powerful people have over other people in the society. Having an employee discount is a privilege. Being able to sing for a famous person is a privilege. Having people wait on you hand and foot is a privilege. Not being oppressed or discriminated against is not a privilege, it is the fucking norm. My goodness, learn to use words correctly. And men do get victimized. Finally, you say something correct for a change. But guess who's victimizing them? Other men are. That's who. Men are the ones who enforce patriarchy and sanction other men who fail to live up to the code. So men who aren't good at sports, short men, men who lack physical strength, and others are attacked by because they're not perceived as manly enough. Men are the biggest threat to women and to other men. So that automatically means that it still isn't a problem then? Great, I'll use that same wonderful logic on victims of black-on-black crime. And I would like to see your proof that women don't victimize men that often. Yes, they do, you fucking retard. YouTube, hot guy gets harassed walking around streets of NYC. But facts are hard, don't you know? One video of one guy compared to thousands of stories of women who've been catcalled. Not the same thing, dude bro. So, your logic is that because you hear about so-called harassment of women more often than you hear about harassment of men, that means that it happens more often? Yeah, no. Look up availability heuristic and you'll see why that argument falls apart. Just because you hear about an event more often than another seemingly less frequent event does not prove that the former event happens more often than the latter event. You said men do not experience catcalling. That is a lie. You can't now move the goalposts and say, well, even if it does happen to men, it doesn't happen to them as much. How frequently something happens to one group compared to the other does not dictate whether it's a problem, you simpleton. Sure, some men get judged. You just moved the goalposts again. You said, and I quote, men do not have to worry about being judged for their physical appearance. Now you've conceded that men are judged for their physical appearance. You have no data to back up your assertion that women experience it more than men. Men are heavily scrutinized for their appearance, and men have to deal with the same sorts of pressures of living up to the idealized male body type. That's a pretty big privilege. No, you fucking retard, that's a pretty good Hollywood trope that appeals to viewers. In the real world, it isn't often the case that goofy, unattractive, overweight men can land a stereotypical beautiful woman without money and status. Who's victimizing them? Other men. You're a delusional moron. Let me guess. Single parent home, raised by your mother, all girl siblings? Women mock short men. Women mock fat men. Women mock nerdy men. Women mock men over penis size. Women mock men for not being manly enough for them. Women mock men for being destitute or simply frugal. I know you're trying to impress these feminist women, but you shouldn't be forced to lie to gain acceptance. That should tell you how weak your ideology is when you have to fabricate and deny reality. Yes, thank you. I don't think he's trying to impress feminist women, though. It's in the nature of men to have an outgroup bias towards the other gender. In other words, men instinctively side with women, even to their own detriment. I only need one video to invalidate your lie that men do not experience catcalling, moron. If your argument is that you do not experience it to the same degree, then you should have said that from the start. There is a difference between those two arguments, in case the English language is something new to you. Thousands of stories. First of all, you cannot verify any story that a woman has posted about online. Secondly, the reason why catcalling against men is underreported is because men generally don't care. Men generally aren't nearly as hypersensitive and don't classify statements like, "You're looking good today, honey," as a federal crime. Exactly. Women catcalling men is so minuscule compared to men catcalling women. According to whom? You? I guess it's official then. So why do you keep whining about it? I seriously cannot comprehend the level of projection in this sentence alone. I really can't. You're just trying to deflect away from what men do to women. Admit it. Because it's always about what men do to women and never the other way around, right? I have some stories about women being catcalled by men. Check them out. Here's one about women who've been catcalled by men. Here's one about women and their experiences with catcalling by men. And another, and yet another. This is what women experience from men. No, it's not the other way around. So please take several seats and shut the hell up with the damn deflections. Project, project, project. That's all you ever do. So minuscule, once again you have no data to back up this statement, which makes you a liar. You lied when you claimed that men do not face catcalling. Now you're ignoring your original assertion to downplay these men's experiences as insignificant. You're pathetic. You can cite as many stories as you like. They're irrelevant to the fact that men also experience it, which you denied earlier. And like I told you earlier, men in general aren't bothered by receiving catcalls, so they're less likely to whine to the media about interactions with people on the streets. That is once again true. Both you and Caitlyn Jenner are very nice to look at. Cat. Smiley face. Dex Sims. Well, looky there. The left-wing sim catcalling online. Why are you objectifying these women by referring to their looks rather than commenting on the content of their video? Huh? They're not sexual objects for you to gawk at, you misogynistic bastard. Tear, please kill yourself, far-left troll. Nasty response, but I see your point. Shut the hell up. I was complimenting Kat Black and Caitlyn Jenner on being beautiful in reference to Kat's comment about what cisgender people were saying about Caitlyn Jenner's Vanity Fair photo shoot. They were saying things like, Caitlyn looks better than me and I'm a real woman. Kat, who, like Caitlyn, is also a trans woman, took offense at those types of comments, and rightly so, because they imply that trans women aren't real women. What I said was not catcalling at all. I was just paying them a compliment. That's very different from a guy wolf whistling at a woman who's walking down the street. That's very different from a guy stalking a woman and telling her that he wants to do sexual things with her. That's very different from a guy masturbating next to a woman in a public space. That's very different from a guy groping a woman and demanding sex. That's very different from a guy harassing a lesbian couple with comments like, want to have a threesome? I didn't do any of that. Alright, fair enough. So stop trying to deflect and turn this around on me. You're just upset that your male privilege is being checked. No, he's just allergic to bullshit. No, I don't think I will shut up. You catcalled and objectified two women online. They didn't invite you to comment on their looks, yet you did. Why didn't you comment on their ideas? He's on other channels telling she-males and females about how beautiful they look. The Mangina Award is fitting. So women should just stop talking about being harassed and catcalled because men don't talk about it, huh? That makes no sense at all. He didn't say that at all. Besides, it's not actually a problem. You're just grasping at straws. Just admit that the real reason you're all upset is because women are challenging your male entitlement and male privilege. Stop it with all this men are victims too crap. I can see that you're starting to get really defensive. Candace Majoris, don't pity me. I'm proud to be a feminist, and I'm not a slave to anything. The only slaves are you and all the other dude bros. You're all slaves to patriarchy. It's not too late for you to get right. You're so misguided. It's rather sad. Jesus Christ. Men do have to worry about getting their drinks spiked at bars. You are using the fact that no one cares or knows about male rape victims. The CDC hides them behind the euphemism, made to penetrate, to argue that men are privileged. That is hideously evil. Females are ahead in education and yet still receive all the special help and scholarships and programs exclusively for the advancement of their gender. Anyone who disagrees with feminism is called a whiny, fat, neckbeard, small penis loser. Physical appearance? Women aren't taken seriously at sports? Boo fucking who? What the fuck does that compare to not being taken seriously as victims of spousal abuse, rape, domestic violence, sexual assault, parenthood, homelessness, men are 90% of unsheltered homeless, deadly cancer, compare breast and prostate cancer funding, and unemployment. Read No Country for Burly Men. There is nothing revolutionary about feminism, and we both know it. Feminism is simply the idea to switch women's role from damsel in distress to bitchy damsel in distress, and men's role from man up to check your privilege. You are entirely correct. Thank you for a well-written comment. Oh dear, another relative privation argument. It's still dumb. Women in the West shouldn't shut up about the oppression they deal with from men just because women in other parts of the world might have it a little worse. People aren't telling women to shut up about their oppression because women in other countries may have it worse. People are telling women to shut up about their oppression because it's not actually oppression to begin with. That makes no sense. Women are not the victims of any form of oppression. How exactly are women in the West oppressed when they're better off than any other group in the world? Do you know how much funding and how many organizations are dedicated to women's issues? Not to mention that we have a male feminist president. Additionally, women have so many opportunities here in the West. If men are oppressing women, they are doing a terrible job at it. It's very easy for we men to say the crap that you say, though, because we're not the victims of gender oppression. No, we are. You just can't see it. That's normal, considering your outgroup bias towards the other gender. We're the perpetrators of it, and women are our victims. Are you kidding me? You did not just say that. You know what? End the episode right now before I get angry.